Peace to the gods and goddesses, y'all. So as I'm getting myself prepared to go to an event later on today, I was hearing my ears started ringing, and I kept hearing this voice, and it kept saying Nicodemus. Of course, you hear stuff you ignore, especially when you're used to it. So anyway, it kept coming back. Nicodemus. I just kept hearing Nicodemus. So I'm like, okay. I finally said, let me just stop what I'm doing and go see why they saying Nicodemus to me. So as I went and looked up the story of Nicodemus to see why I was hearing the name, it talked about how Nicodemus, of course, he was a Pharisee. For my Bible readers and those that are familiar with the Bible, and those that don't read the Bible, I'm gonna say that it's a book that you should really keep, because you can still go back and use it for key factors and key pointers to certain things. It's still a book of good philosophy. You can take something out of it. Of course, it's not what we were taught it was, but it's still good, some uses for something, right? So anyway, as I'm reading about Nicodemus to see why I'm hearing it, what does it mean for me? It was basically putting it in my face that the meaning of Nicodemus, that was the first thing that popped up when I put Nicodemus' name in the search engine, was the meaning of his name. He got two meanings. The first meaning is victory of people. The second meaning means seeker of truth or something like that. Y'all can look that up yourself. So anyway, I'm just like, okay, why is y'all saying this to me? So as I continue to read, I'm trying to look for what resonates so I know what the message is. I kept reading, and it just talked about how Nicodemus, even though he was a prominent Pharisee, the Pharisees were the leaders of the Jewish Sanhedrin. They were the lawmakers and the judges, and they made the law. And if anybody know anything about the Pharisees, if you're familiar with it, you would know they used to walk around they were so self-righteous. They walked around with Bibles, with little Bibles on their heads, right? And I talked about this in one of my other videos, that they were so, adamant about not wanting to accept Jesus Christ. Now, we know Jesus Christ represent higher consciousness, okay? But please take this for what it is, y'all. Please, because I know how people feel about religion. I feel the same way about it. But you can't control the messages that come to you. And you can't control what the divine is saying to you when they say it. Or where you might get the lesson from. Like they used to say back in the day. Don't lift the lesson. Don't lift it. Okay? So don't get thrown off because I'm saying stuff about the Bible. Or using it as a guide. That's what they brought to me. So I'm bringing it to the fold. Anyway, the Sanhedrin and the Pharisees rejected Jesus. Because he didn't get his law from them. But as I continued to read, one key factor popped out in my face when it said the Pharisees' crime was because they rejected spirit. It had nothing to do with Jesus or the person. They rejected what he stood for. They rejected the message. They rejected what the divine was using to send them an awakening, that higher consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't want to change. They didn't want to come out of who they were. They were proud. They were arrogant. They were self-righteous. They were judgmental, and they wouldn't accept, Jesus for who he was and what he came for. They didn't want his light. They didn't want that higher, that awakening, that consciousness. Because for them, who does he think he is? They had that, they were very well educated. So they were mad because they were like, what did he learn this law from? And who gave him the authority to teach? Because he didn't get his knowledge from them. And I know this been coming up for like the last week with me. That energy just been coming up, so I don't know who this could resonate with, but sometimes a prophet is not accepted in their own home. And that's what I feel like I got out of that message, why they were saying Nicodemus to me. And here it is right here. You have the 4 cups and you have the strength. And to me, this is definitely about pride. Sometimes people are too proud to hear because it's coming from you. They're rejecting you. But the thing they don't realize is it's not about you. It's not about who brings the message. It's not about, where the person come from. It's about the divine, how the divine work. We don't get to pick and choose how we receive messages and how we receive our information and who we get it from. If it's meant for us to get it, the divine is going to send it to us. And it's up to us whether we are open-minded enough to accept it. And the first two things that actually came out was the Two of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. This is completely somebody or people who don't want to accept other things. I feel like this Two of Pentacles is about energy that's, this is about an energy that's a stubborn energy that's like, no, I'm not coming out of this paradigm right here. This is what it's going to be right here. And if it's anything outside of that, then I'm sorry, but I can't accept it, And I feel like with this Knight of Pentacles, now the Pharisees, they were very high prominent men. They were prominent. They were spiritual teachers. They were spiritual leaders and all of that. So they had they ones who set the bar, for who was accepted in the Sanhedrin and who wasn't. And anybody who followed Jesus, they rejected these people, and to the point to where they sought to murder and kill and draw blood. This is how serious this stuff is. So, I feel like this message is geared towards the people who are calling themselves light workers, people who are, feeling like the divine is using them, or people who know that the divine is using them. Y'all might run into this. You understand what I'm saying? Because when the divine sends you on a mission, he will send you in some, you will be sent in some difficult places. And they even started to call Jesus a liar, saying that he was being deceptive and all of that. They was trying to really get this man because they felt like he was deceiving Nicodemus, and Nicodemus was looking for another truth because he had wretched this Knight of Pentacles. He had already wretched his highest position he was going to get in the Sanhedrin and that prominence. And that wasn't enough. He wasn't fulfilled with that, so he wanted more. He wanted something that was more fulfilling to his soul, that was more fulfilling to his purpose. This is why he was seeking a higher consciousness. But however, the other chieftains, they didn't like that. They looking at Nicodemus like, dude, what is you doing? You ain't supposed to be listening to him. He's supposed to be bowing to us. And you over there listening to what he talking about. What is you doing? And then the Sanhedrin turned against Jesus because they started to, they was lying on the man. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. I mean, they hated this. Y'all know the story of this, for the Bible readers anyway. They hated the man. And they hated him because he brought a truth they never heard before. So if you coming in somebody else's domain and you talking something that they ain't never heard before, and they already feel like they are the ones who got the top 360 knowledge, but you coming up in here, they ain't never seen you, they ain't know who Jesus was, they was just like, yeah, we heard about you, but what make you think you the one? With your little scrawny ass. You know what I'm saying? For the sake, I'm just, because, when they depict pictures of Jesus, they got this little bony man, so I'm sure they looking at him with your little scrawny self. Who you think you is walking up in the Sanhedrin talking about you the truth, the way, and the light? They didn't accept, they rejected that. Okay, and so I feel like what this message is towards the people who are on spiritual journeys, who really do receive spiritual messages, who really are in connection with the divine, who really do communicate with their ancestors, and they really do hear voices, and those voices are, leading them in certain directions, and you may have dreams or premonitions, you may see visions and stuff like that. It may lead you in a certain direction for a certain thing, and you may not be receptive. The people may not be receptive to that. And the bottom line is that's what I feel like this Nicodemus message was. I'm sure it applies to me as well, because why would they bring me a message that don't apply to me first? You have the Nine of Cups here. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and then you have the Knight of Swords, and then you have Death. Okay, and then you have the Four of Swords. So I feel like in the Bible, they wanted Jesus to shut the hell up. Okay, so to some of my spiritual people may not like who you are, what you stand for. They may not like the things that you say, and they might want to send you some type of spiritual attacks. And Jesus was constantly spiritually attacked in the Bible, constantly, even to the point to where they killed him. They killed the man, all because he spoke the truth. And that's exactly what this Ace of Swords is about. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. Aquarius, we in the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment. And unfortunately, that is going to cause a lot of people they're not going to like what you're talking about. They're not going to like your message. They're going to want to shut you up, period. Four of Swords. They're going to want to stop you from speaking, period. All right. And with this Knight of Swords, I feel like, with this sudden appearance that you may have in certain audiences or around certain people might look at you and they don't see that in you. But then when you may start, communicating, or you may start talking or sharing your thoughts, that's when now you start receiving some type of attacks with this Knight of Swords energy. Because in the Bible about Jesus, the Pharisees were mad and they didn't like it because they felt like, who is he to be speaking all of this, and who gave him a degree? He ain't got no college degree. What school he went to? You understand? But see, Jesus was getting his information straight from the source. So he didn't get it from their schools. But clearly these were proud people, because this Nine of Cups, they were self-fulfilling Pharisees is what they were. You understand what I'm saying? So if the knowledge and the wisdom and the messages weren't coming from them, they denounced it. They blocked it out. They were blind to it. They did not want to see it. In the scriptures, in the scripts, it talks about when Jesus was speaking back from them, he kept saying, what I teach is not my own. I got it from he that sent me. All right. And then they said, well, who are you from? And they was trying to, I can't remember, I think it's John. Okay, y'all. So anyway, and John 9:44, I think that's the scripture, y'all. Don't quote me, because I'm not a Bible reader like I used to be. It talks about when Jesus was saying, you cannot understand what I'm speaking because you are not from where I'm from, right? You do not understand the teachings of my Father. So Jesus was telling them, they said something about the Father, and Jesus said, you can't understand me because you are from your father, Satan the devil, and you wish to do the works and the desires of your father. Now we all know that associated with the double energy comes pride and arrogance and narcissism and all of those things, and self-fulfilling positions and self-fulfilling prominence. And that is what the Pharisees were. They took advantage of people. They took advantage of their congregation. They took advantage, of the poor. They did all of that. And they continuously raved up conflict all the time. They were in opposition of the truth. They wanted to shut Jesus up so bad, they killed the man. So some of y'all have these, y'all saying y'all light workers and all this stuff. Y'all using all these fancy words and all of that. I mean, and it is what it is. I don't call myself a light worker. I just say, hey, I'm a spiritual. I do what I do. I'm on a spiritual journey, and I lead my own spiritual journey by whatever I'm led to from the divine source itself. So when I say spiritual leader, that's what I'm talking about. I'm being led by the divine itself, But these Pharisees, they were in opposition of that truth. And even when Jesus was performing miracles, doing things that had never been done before, right? Resurrecting the dead. And he resurrected Lazarus, and they got mad because what he did was proof of who he was, and they still didn't want to accept that. So what they did is start seeking to kill Jesus and Lazarus. They wanted to kill the man all over again. Man, let me tell you, I used to have fun when I used to read the Bible, because it just used to trip me out how a lot of the things they were doing in the Bible, human behavior. You still see the same stuff today. You still see it today. That was one of the things that, was always an issue. And when I was going to the Kingdom Hall, is that, everybody wanted this prominent position. Everybody had to have this prominent connection. It was all about buddy passes and cliques, and if you hear and you ain't qualified to do, who the hell is you to tell somebody what they is and ain't qualified for? We have infinite knowledge out here. There's infinite knowledge. Knowledge never ends. It never ends. I can't put a number. Me personally, I can't put a number on how much knowledge we can get and wisdom we can receive, because we live in an entire galaxy. And anybody can tell me where this galaxy begins and where it ends. I can let you tell me how much knowledge there is out here to get, because we can learn from a child. We can learn from an animal. We can learn just by watching how nature moves within itself. It's so much that you can learn from our universe, our planet, and other planets, just the whole galaxy. It's a never, there's no beginning and there's no end. That alpha and that omega is where we are right now. We're in the midst of the alpha and the omega. It ain't a person. It's everything that we're connected to. You know, the microcosms, the macrocosms, you know, the laws of physics, it's all that we're connected to. So for somebody to, or for people or anybody for that matter, to feel like you cannot have the ability to learn outside of their paradigm or a certain paradigm, that's a very closed-minded individual or group of people. You understand what I'm saying? Because even at the Kingdom Hall, they didn't want us to read nothing but their material. You wasn't allowed to read stuff off the internet, read other books, because they were too scared that you were going to find out the truth and that you were going to get from amongst this closed mind and blocked crown chakra and blocked third eye, and that you was going to get a hold to some higher consciousness, and therefore you were going to realize that you weren't being given the truth the whole time. You were being lied to and misled. Blind leading the blind. That's what this is. You was being taken advantage of, like Malcolm X said. You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You know, and they didn't want you to find that out. But in that, there's much confusion. Because even though people can get prominent positions, you know, in any position, this could be a job at work that you may have more qualification to do something than a person that walk in there with a degree. But you know why this person is going to feel like they're better than you? Because they come in with a piece of paper, but they still can't do the job. They still can't do the job. But you won't get the position because you don't have somebody else's approval. Okay, and that is what the issue was in the Nicodemus story about Jesus. Jesus didn't have the approval of the Sanhedrin and the Pharisees. So there was chaos and conflict and jealousy and strife amongst the whole Sanhedrin, period. They even got mad when Jesus healed the blind man, and they said, well, how did you see? And he said, I don't know. All I know is I could see. And now I was blind and I could see. They started accusing the man of lying, accusing his parents and saying, well, he was never blind in the first place. I mean, baby, them dang on Pharisees was horrible. And I'm talking about proud and arrogant. You couldn't tell them any two times you walking around with little Bibles on your forehead around the Sanhedrin. Come on. But what I was reading gave me the enlightenment. They rejected the spirit. They rejected the divine. They didn't have Jesus in the Bible was just a man. They came from the divine in the flesh. So you took on a slave's form. So you just a man like them. It had nothing to do with them. But they were mad because it was coming from him. And it wasn't coming from within their circle or their paradigm. So with the Eight of Swords, you have the Six of Cups and the Page of Swords. And so I feel like a lot of people feel like they may be at their growth, or they may be looking at some of us as if we not at a certain growth, you know, that we should be at in order to be saying certain things, or you know, putting certain things out there. And this is another energy right here. This is a lot of chaos. And with this Eight of Swords here, again, this is another energy of shut up. You know, there's people that probably want me to shut up, but unfortunately, you know, that ain't gonna happen. You see, because I was sent to do what I do for the people that resonate with me and that I resonate with. You understand what I'm saying? So you have the Page of Cups and the Six of Pentacles again. So I feel like with this energy here, when you have people, you know, who just feel like, you know, you don't have some sort of, they don't want to give you, you know, they don't want to open up and accept who you are, who you may be to them, or who you may be for yourself. You understand? Or for whatever walk of life you may be on. I feel like this is really geared towards the spiritual community. You know, the spiritual people that's out here doing spiritual work for people, that's helping people to, you know, get to that place to where they're, you know, opening up their minds and opening up their hearts to the wonder that we live amongst. It's so much awe-inspiring things amongst us that you just can't pinpoint something here and there and say, oh, okay, I got it. I got it. No, we don't. Because as soon as you think you got it, it's going to be something else that's going to be just as awesome as that's going to slap you in the face. But if you're closed-minded, you won't get that. If you're here in this place to where you feel like there's nothing else to learn, there's nothing else for you to do, I feel like the energy is saying here, shake the dust off your feet where you're not accepted. With this this Page of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. This is not equilibrium. This is somebody saying, I can't accept this from you, but I can accept this from over here, because you ain't got what it I can't. You're not giving me nothing. You understand what I'm saying? This is a very and when I say immature energy, that means something that hasn't grown yet. You understand? So I feel like, for some of my people that's in a spiritual journey that's out here putting information out here, there's people who may be looking at that as if you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You understand? Because it's not there. It doesn't resonate with their information. You understand what I'm saying? And so to them, it's not, it has no grounds to it. In other words, you understand? So for my people that's out here on the spiritual journey, don't get discouraged by that. Don't do that, because we all still got, and we're going to forever be an evolving, learning species as long as we're on this planet. And even when we leave here, we're going to get back on that other side, and we're going to start remembering everything that we didn't remember in this physical realm. And we're going to want to come back and connect with our loved ones through people who have those open portals to help guide our loved ones in the direction in which they should go. Page of Pentacles, it's a lot of page information out here. So I feel like the Pharisees was doing Jesus. People do not want to listen to what you have to say. Certain people don't want to listen to what you have to say. This could be based on position or rank. They don't want to hear what you got to say because they looking at you like, who is this nobody? Who is this person, dog? Where you study that? What book did you read? How did you figure out what you understand what I'm saying? There's going to be people that you're going to run into like that. What I got out of this is shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. When you're not accepted, move on. Don't stand there trying to plead your case or standing in the midst of drama or chaos or people that's being negative towards you or going against you or repelling you. Don't do it, because you don't have to. The divine said, do this, and you're doing, and you being obedient to whatever your spiritual sources are. And we all have different spiritual sources. Some people have certain deities that they connect with. Some people connect with their ancestors and whatever. Some people connect with other entities. Whatever you do, if it's giving you a positivity and it's giving you an enlightenment, do what it is that you're being sent and commissioned to do on your spiritual journey. Because it's going to differ from everybody. There's going to be people that's going to say, there ain't no such thing as no ancestors. Because the ancestors just ain't talking to them. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying all of this to say, there's people that may want to shut you up out here. Keep doing what you're doing. Look at that. Page of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. There's people that don't like what you're doing, and they want to shut you down. But the divine said it ain't gonna happen. Not now, not never, not then, not later. It's not gonna happen, because when the divine and higher sources send you to do something, the only thing people that try to stop you, that try to speak negatively against you, that try to find fault in you when you've done and committed no wrong, only thing they could do is bring havoc and upon themselves. The only people those swords are going to affect is them. It's them. And that's the bottom line. Two of Pentacles, and I'm out of here. I don't want to stay here long because I just thought it was interesting that I'm hearing that. You have the Knight of Cups, you have Judgment, the Hermit, you have the Four of Swords, and you have the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like out of this chaos here, there are going to be those that do see your worth. There are going to be those that will value, what you have to say, even if you don't know it, even if they're quietly doing it. Now, even in the account with Nicodemus, he had to sneak and go see Jesus when it was nighttime just to get some inspiration, some spiritual inspiration from Jesus. He had to do it quietly when nobody was around because he wanted to avoid conflict from his own people. because they were being judgmental. He didn't want people judging him, and he didn't want people interrupting him when he was trying to get something from what he resonated with, whether it was coming from his crowd or not. And clearly it didn't come from the Sanhedrin. It came from a light worker, the Christ of consciousness, the consciousness of Christ. Okay, so you do have people that are adhering and are watching, and maybe hearing what you have to say, and they may be doing it in private because they see your value. They're getting something out of it. They feel like there's something that you have jewels in you. They feel like you really do have some type of developed jewels in you, to whereas these other people want to put you down, talk negative of you and say negative things about you, and, want to make it seem like, you don't know nothing. You just running your mouth, or you just, talking or maybe repeating something. You had something. That's jealousy, baby. That's jealousy, because everybody ain't sent on the same mission. You understand? And the package ain't going to come the way you want it to. Some people ain't going to come to you with a head wrap on. Some people ain't going to come to you at 90 years old. Some people ain't going to come to you, with a suit or a tie. Some people ain't going to come to you with a dashiki on. These people, you don't know who the divine is going to send to you to give you something, to drop something. You don't know. You understand? But if you in this Eight of Swords energy with this Page of Swords and this Six of Cups, judging folks predominantly when you really don't know you don't know what message they may have for you personally for your life, that might change it for the better. But people like this, like the Pharisees and the poor Nicodemus, you understand? He had to escape his own people to go get something that he needed for his soul. So I'm saying this to say, you're going to have people that's going to oppose your messages. You're going to have people that's going to be mad. You're going to have people that's going to be jealous. You're going to have people that's going to be envious. You're going to have people that just simply going to want to put you out of commission, that's going to want you to shut up. And I can't make it up. You got the Five of Wands with the Page of Pentacles again with the Ten of Cups, and you have the Five of Swords. These people are immature themselves. They're not evolved, because that Page of Swords, this Page of Swords is how they're looking at some of y'all. They're looking at you through a very small lens. They don't see the bigger picture. And so this is where the chaos is coming from. It's a bunch of chaos, negative talk, gossip, and jealousy. And you're going to get that. And it could be your family members that's doing it. Place where you work at. Place where you go to worship. It don't matter where it is. This could apply to anybody that's on a spiritual journey, because you're not going to be the same person when you get on that spiritual journey. You're going to eat different. You're going to talk different. You're going to glow different. You're going to think different. You're going to speak, walk, all of that. For some people, you may even dress different. You understand? You're going to listen to different music. You're going to hang out in different places. Everything about you is going to transform. That's this energy right here. Transformation. And this is what a lot of y'all have been sent out here to do. Cause transformation. And sometimes the only way to cause transformation is to tear down and cause chaos and shake things up. Sometimes you have to do that. And there's no truth getting exposed if somehow there's no demolition. So there has to be chaos in order for it to be peace, especially when there's been, you understand, things that need to change and has taken so long to get to the place to where the truth is being shown. People like to hide and wear masks and hide the truth. You understand? And so a lot of times people want to speak negatively on you because you see their truth and they don't want you to see. People like wearing masks. They like hiding things about themselves. And when they're around people who see the truth, they're going to say negative things about you because they don't want nobody else to listen to you. They don't want nobody to hear what you have to say. But the divine said, I'm protecting the ones that I got on this mission. And hierarchy protection, triple B protection. You touch it, I'ma electrocute you. I'ma bring you down. I'ma chop you down to your knees. You're gonna be on one toe and one knee. They're gonna be calling you Tony. I know that was stale, but I had to say, I had to throw something in there. But there's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to stop this journey. This wheel will keep on turning. And these people are just going to be mad about it because you are changing the paradigm shift. Period. A lot of y'all, and that's what this spiritual path that people keep talking about, that's what it all boils down to. You're changing the dynamics of the paradigm shift. So either way it go, y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Don't let other people discourage you. Don't let people come to you with their pride and their arrogance, trying to shoot you down, or try to make you feel bad about the things that you're speaking on. You ain't doing nothing but delivering the messages that's coming to you. So when people think they're getting mad at you and rejecting you, they're not. They're rejecting the divine. They're rejecting the divine. Clearly, that's what the Pharisees were doing. They were rejecting spirit, divinity. It wasn't about the man that the message came through. And people be so proud and arrogant and narcissistic that they think that the message, because of who it's coming from, that's what they're bothered by. They're more bothered by who it's coming from rather than what's coming from you. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave that here, y'all. I hope somebody got something out of this message. I hope that, I was able to inspire somebody to keep going, and even if the divine causes you to shift gears, shake the dust off your feet, baby. If people do not want to accept you when you are, shake the dust off your feet and move on to the next, because we are on a divine mission. Whether people want to accept it or not is not going to change our mission. So please keep going. We're on a divine multiple past life mission to change lives and transform people as we change and transform ourselves, because the divine is getting ready to make all things new, and these former things are going to pass away, and you are a part of that divine mission. And it doesn't matter whether you're a part of an organization or not. Your mission is your mission. Do you stay on key, stay protected, keep doing whatever you need to do to keep your energy clean, stay on point, and go, and allow more like-minded people to be drawn to you. But it's a lot of us out here on that mission. So I want to be encouraging to the other people. Stay on key, y'all. We got work to do. On that note, she out. Peace.